Welcome to the epic finale of our 5-part journey through Stratholme's haunted legacy. In Part 5, the Argent Crusade, led by Sean Wilkers, battles a resurgent Scourge in the city's burdened streets, uncovering a sinister necromantic plot in the Slaughterhouse. As the Fourth War's chaos leaves the Plaguelands vulnerable, Mathias Shaw's report reveals a glimmer of hope. Survivors clinging to life in the dead city, defying the undead in sacred strongholds. Join us as we explore the final chapter of Stratholme's saga, where the Light's champions fight to reclaim the cursed city's soul from the ashes of Azeroth's darkest history. The mission at the Stratholme Service Entrance and the discovery in the Slaughterhouse had significant implications for the Argent Crusade's efforts in the Plaguelands. The successful clearing of the Service Entrance demonstrated the Crusade's ability to strike effectively against the Scourge, even in the face of increased undead activity. However, the encounter with the shadowy figures and Blackmane revealed that the Scourge was adapting, potentially seeking new ways to weaponize their forces or spread their influence amidst the Fourth War's distractions. The shadowy figures' escape was a setback, as it allowed the necromancers to continue their work elsewhere in the Plaguelands or beyond. The corruption of Blackmane, while contained for the moment, underscored the Scourge's ability to repurpose relics of the past, such as Death Charger's legacy, for new and dangerous purposes. The Argent Crusade, recognizing the gravity of the situation, likely intensified their efforts to monitor Stratholme, reinforcing their presence in key areas like Alonsus Chapel and the Scarlet Bastion, which had served as bases in prior campaigns. The events also highlighted the broader context of the Fourth War. The conflict between the Alliance and the Horde had stretched their resources thin, leaving the Plaguelands vulnerable to the Scourge resurgence. The Argent Crusade, as a neutral faction dedicated to combating the undead, played a critical role in filling this gap, but their efforts were complicated by the war's chaos and the Scourge's cunning. The discovery of the shadowy figures suggested that the Scourge was not merely a remnant of past threats, but an active force seeking to exploit Azeroth's division. Stratholme's role during the Fourth War added yet another chapter to its tragic history. From its origins as an Arathi settlement to its prominence as the center of the Light, its destruction in the Second War, the Cullen in the Third War, and its contested status in the Cataclysm and Legion, the city remained a crucible of conflict. The increased Scourge activity and the necromancer's rituals in the Slaughterhouse underscored Stratholme's status as a nexus of necromantic power, where the undead continued to pose a threat long after the Lich King's fall. The Argent Crusade's mission, led by Sean Wilkers and the Adventurer, was a testament to the resilience of the Light's champions, who refused to abandon Stratholme despite its cursed state. The successful clearing of the service entrance and the disruption of the necromancer's ritual were small, but significant victories, reinforcing the Crusade's commitment to purifying the Plaguelands. However, the escape of the shadowy figures and the lingering presence of Blackmane's corruption served as a reminder that Stratholme's redemption remained elusive, its burning ruins a constant challenge to those who sought to restore its former glory. The events also connected Stratholme's sacred past. The use of Alonsus Chapel as a base in prior campaigns and the city's holy water, sought by the Silverhand during Legion, underscored its enduring significance as a symbol of the Light. The necromancer's attempt to corrupt Blackmane in the Slaughterhouse was a perverse inversion of these sacred efforts, highlighting the ongoing battle between light and darkness that defined Stratholme's history. During the Fourth War, Stratholme's role as a Scourge stronghold was challenged by the Argent Crusade's campaign to curb increased undead activity. Sean Wilkers and the adventurer's successful clearing of the Stratholme Service Entrance marked a tactical victory, but the discovery of two shadowy figures wielding necromantic magic on Blackmane in the Slaughterhouse revealed a new and dangerous threat. The necromancer's escape ensured that the Scourge's influence persisted, while the Crusade's resolve to monitor Stratholme underscored their commitment to combating the undead. Stratholme, forever marked by its tragic past, remained a battleground where the Light's champions fought to reclaim hope from the ashes of a city consumed by darkness. Exploring Azeroth. The Fourth War, a brutal conflict between the Alliance and the Horde, left Azeroth reeling with resources and attention diverted from secondary fronts like the Plaguelands. Stratholme, scarred by the Cullen of a Third War, the Scourge's domination in subsequent campaigns during the Cataclysm and Legion, remained a haunting symbol of Lordran's fall. Its streets, still burdened from the fire set by Prince Arthas, were patrolled by undead remnants, ghouls, abominations, and necromancers, under the lingering influence of the Scourge. The necropolis Naxxramas, once a looming presence, was no longer stationed above the city, but its necromantic influence persisted, sustaining the undead forces within Stratholme's walls. Despite the Scourge dominance, the city had seen repeated efforts by the living to challenge their control. The Argent Crusade's campaigns during the Cataclysm and the Silverhand's mission to purify Shadowmane during Legion had established temporary footholds in Alonsus Chapel and the Scarlet Bastion. The Fourth War's increased Scourge activity, as seen in the Argent Crusade's mission led by Sean Wilkers to clear Stratholme Service Entrance, highlighted the ongoing threat, but also the determination of the Light's champions to maintain a presence in the city. Mathias Shaw's report, compiled through SI-7 intelligence gathering efforts, confirmed that these efforts had not been in vain, as living survivors continued to endure in Stratholme despite its cursed state. Mathias Shaw, a master of espionage and a key figure in the Alliance, was renowned for his ability to gather intelligence from even the most dangerous regions of Azeroth. His report on Stratholme, describing the presence of living people in a dead city, offered a rare glimpse into the city's post-Fourth War state. Shaw's observation likely referred to members of the Argent Crusade and the Order of the Silver Hand, who had established strongholds in the Scarlet Bastion and Alonsus Chapel during prior campaigns. These groups, dedicated to combating the Scourge and upholding the Light's ideals, were the most plausible candidates for survivors Shaw mentioned, given their history of operations in Stratholme and their resilience in the face of overwhelming odds. The Scarlet Bastion, once the heart of the Scarlet Crusade's fanatical resistance, had been repurposed by the Argent Crusade during the Cataclysm as a base for their assault on the Scourge. Though the Scarlet Crusade's influence had waned due to internal corruption and Balnazzar's manipulation, the Bastion remained a fortified enclave, its walls and strategic position making it a viable stronghold for the living. Alonsus Chapel, the historic site where the Silver Hand was founded, held profound spiritual significance and had been reclaimed and purified during Legion to serve as a base for the Paladins' operations. These locations, steeped in the Light's legacy, provided defensible positions where the survivors could hold out against the Scourge. The survivors' ability to manage to survive as best they can speaks to the harsh conditions they faced. Stratholme's burning streets, blighted by necromantic corruption, were a hostile environment, with undead patrols and environmental hazards like plague-ridden air and unstable structures posing constant threats. The Argent Crusade and Silverhand maintained small, fortified garrisons, relying on their mastery of holy magic, blessed relics, and the city's remaining holy water to fend off Scourge attacks. These survivors would have operated in a state of perpetual vigilance, scavenging supplies, maintaining defenses, and conducting guerrilla-style operations to disrupt the undead. Shaw's report suggested a mix of admiration and concern for these survivors. Their presence in Stratholme, a city synonymous with death and despair, was a testament to their courage and dedication, but it also highlighted the precariousness of their situation. Without significant reinforcements or a broader campaign to fully reclaim the city, their survival depended on resourcefulness and the Light's protection. Shaw's intelligence aimed to draw attention to Stratholme's ongoing importance, urging the Alliance and other factions to support these holdouts and prevent the Scourge from regaining strength. The Argent Crusade, formed from the merger of the Argent Dawn and the remnants of the Silver Hand, had a long history of combating the Scourge in the Plaguelands. Their campaigns in Stratholme, from the defeat of Balnazzar and Arius Rivendare during the Cataclysm to the clearing of the Service Entrance during the Fourth War, demonstrated their commitment to purifying the region. In the aftermath of the Fourth War, the Crusade maintained a small but dedicated presence in the Scarlet Bastion, using it as a command center to coordinate patrols, gather intelligence, and launch strikes against Scourge strongholds in the Slaughterhouse. The reformed Order of the Silver Hand, revitalized during Legion under the leadership of the High Lord, also played a crucial role. Their mission to secure Stratholme's holy water and purify Shadowmane had reinforced Alonsus Chapel as a sacred bastion, and they likely continued to use it as a spiritual and operational hub. The Paladins, wielding the Light's power, were uniquely suited to counter the Scourge's necromantic aura, their presence in Stratholme serving as a beacon of hope amidst the city's ruins. The Silverhand's resolve to keep a closer eye on Stratholme, established during Legion, transformed into a sustained commitment to maintain Alonsus Chapel as a stronghold, even as the Fourth War's demands strained their resources. These survivors, whether paladins, priests, or warriors, faced immense challenges. They would have relied on fortified defenses, holy wards, and the city's remaining sacred source of water to survive. Their efforts included maintaining the purity of Alonsus Chapel's fonts, repairing barricades in the Scarlet Bastion, and conducting covert missions to eliminate key Scourge threats. The presence of living survivors in Stratholme also suggested the possibility of civilian holdouts, perhaps descendants of the city's original inhabitants or refugees who had taken shelter in the Bastion or Chapel, though their numbers would have been small and their survival dependent on the protection of the Crusade and Silverhand. Mathias Shaw's report highlights the extraordinary resilience of Stratholme survivors, who defied the city's reputation as a dead city to maintain a foothold against the Scourge. Their presence in the Scarlet Bastion and Alonsus Chapel underscores the enduring significance of these locations as symbols of the Light's resistance. However, it also reveals the challenges facing the Plaguelands in the post-Fourth War era. The increased Scourge activity during the Fourth War, as seen in the Necromancer's ritual involving Blackmane, suggested that the undead remained a potent threat, capable of exploiting any lapse in vigilance. The survivors' ability to endure in Stratholme speaks to the broader struggle to reclaim the Plaguelands. The Argent Crusade and Silverhand's efforts, while heroic, were limited by the Fourth War's drain on resources and the persistence of necromantic corruption in the region. The shadowy figures encountered in the Slaughterhouse, who escaped with their necromantic knowledge, posed an ongoing danger, potentially plotting to revive the Scourge's power elsewhere. Shaw's report served as a call to action, urging the Alliance, Horde, or neutral factions like the Crusade to bolster their efforts in Stratholme and prevent the full-scale Scourge resurgence. The presence of living survivors also carried symbolic weight. Stratholme, with its history of triumph and tragedy, from its founding as an Arathi settlement to the Cullen, the Scourge's domination, and the campaigns of the Cataclysm and Legion, remained a crucible where the Light's ideals were tested. The survival of Argent Crusade and Silverhand members in the Scarlet Bastion and Alonsus Chapel echoed the city's origin as a birthplace of the Silverhand, reinforcing the idea that hope could endure even in the darkest places. Their struggle was a microcosm of Azeroth's broader fight against despair, as the Living sought to reclaim a city that had been lost to death for decades. Stratholme's enduring legacy as a city of both light and darkness was reaffirmed by the survivors' presence in the aftermath of the Fourth War. The Scarlet Bastion, once corrupted by Balnazar's influence, had been transformed into a stronghold of the light, while Alonsus Chapel remained a sacred anchor, its holy water and spiritual significance a reminder of the Silverhand's founding. The survivors' ability to manage as best they can reflects the tenacity of the Light's champions, who refused to abandon Stratholme despite its horrors. However, the city's status as a contested ruin meant that their hold was precarious. The Scourge's lingering presence, bolstered by necromancers and corrupt relics like Blackmane, ensured that Stratholme remained a dangerous battleground. Shaw's report, shared with Alliance leaders and Horde counterparts, underscored the need for continued vigilance. The Argent Crusade and Silverhand's commitment to maintaining their strongholds in Stratholme suggested a long-term strategy to gradually purify the city, but the scale of the challenge required broader support, which the Fourth War's aftermath made difficult to secure. The survivor's story also connects to Stratholme's broader narrative. From the Troll Wars to the Second and Third Wars, the city has endured countless tragedies, yet it continued to draw those who sought to redeem it. The presence of living survivors, holding out in the Scarlet Bastion and Alonsus Chapel, was a testament to this enduring hope, even as the Scourge's shadow loomed larger. Their survival hinted at the possibility of a future where Stratholme could be fully reclaimed, its fires extinguished, and its sacred legacy restored. Mathias Shaw's report on living survivors in Stratholme following the Fourth War illuminated the resilience of the Argent Crusade and the Order of the Silver Hand, who maintained a precarious presence in the Scarlet Bastion and Alonsus Chapel amidst the city's undead horrors. Their ability to survive in a dead city reflected their unwavering commitment to the light and their determination to combat the Scourge's lingering threat. The report, set against the backdrop of the Fourth War's chaos and the recent discovery of necromantic activity in the Slaughterhouse, underscores Stratholme's ongoing significance as a battleground where hope and despair clash. The survivors' struggle in the heart of the cursed city reaffirmed Stratholme's legacy as a symbol of the Light's enduring, even as its burning ruins remained a testament to the enduring challenge of overcoming the Scourge's darkness. And so, our journey through Stratholme's storied history concludes. From its radiant past to its tragic fall and the unyielding fight for redemption, the Argent Crusade's battles and the survivors' defiance in Alonsus Chapel and the Scarlet Bastion stand as a testament to the Light's enduring hope, even amidst the Scourge's relentless shadow. Thank you for joining us in this epic saga. Check out our Argent Dawn Part 1 video linked below for more tales of heroism in the Plaguelands. Like, subscribe, and hit that bell to explore more of Azeroth's unforgettable stories with us.